AskReddit by Eggs. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received that completely changed the way you see the world or live your life? You can't keep blaming yourself. Blame yourself once and then move on. From Homer Simpson of all people, but it has been helpful with me moving forward. You can learn good advice from anywhere. You don't need to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. I always tell this to my friends. My favorite quote by someone I don't even know the name of. I was feeling very stagnant in life in general, mainly around a relationship, and if I wanted to move and start a new job. I was just comfortable, wanted some change, but struggling with not wanting to make a decision to upset the apple cart. A good friend of mine just straight up asked me, "Do you want a life with chapters?" Made me realize that this was a chapter of my life, and if I didn't do anything I'd just be reading the same pages over and over again. I was on the fence about having kids. My mom, to her credit, normally kept her mouth shut about how badly she wanted me to have one. The one thing she said one time that affected me was this: "I know you've liked living your life in chapters. Having a kid naturally breaks your life up into chapters again. You have a lot of stages early on, and then eventually years start to blur together. A child will create more stages." Damn it, she knew me too well. Having a kid isn't for everyone, and I respect that decision, especially since I almost didn't have a kid. But I now have a 2.5-year-old son that I adore. Being right isn't the most important thing in the world. Neither is proving someone wrong. We have to be okay letting arguments go and not obsess over technicalities. It's more important to understand someone's position than it is to get them to agree with you. Well, once I lost half my belongings in 2018, now is. I'd say I've learned to not care about things nearly as much. I learned that everything is replaceable and nothing is that serious. Also that when shit happens you just keep moving. Nobody gives a shit but you. If you try to explain it you will be Ctrl-Alt-Deleted, so just cry and keep moving. There's no such thing as a good deal on a bad product. In college, my best friend wanted to go through some door somewhere. Really don't recall context. I remember being concerned that we shouldn't, and she goes, "What is the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to tell us no." It really changed my perspective about asking for things. If you don't have something you want, you will never get it if you don't ask. And if you ask and you're told no, then you're right where you already were. People learn in one of two ways: repetition or blunt force trauma. If you want to die, I have good news for you. All you have to do is be patient. When you die, if you get a choice between regular heaven and pie heaven, choose pie heaven. It might be a trick, but if it's not, boy. Jack Handy. 2 things. 1. Do things because they bring you happiness, not because of what you expect in return. 2. Just because you didn't mean to be an asshole, doesn't mean you weren't an asshole. Expectation is usually the first step in disappointment. Intent does not grant immunity. Don't burn bridges. Things you can do can haunt you. Treat even crap people well, otherwise you will look like the crap person. Only you can be the best you. You miss every shot you don't take. I don't remember it only in relationship scenarios, but also just knowing people or doing stuff. I don't live with regrets now. My dad always says: 1. Undersell, overperform. 2. Don't make promises you can't keep. And, most importantly, 3. Never drive a car that's cooler than you are. Teacher in high school was an MD. I asked him why he was teaching AP anatomy and he said change careers every 10 years. Never stop learning, and for some reason I can't forget that. Also my grandfather always said tell the truth even if it makes the devil mad, and I live by that. Don't borrow someone else's crazy. You can't control someone else's crazy. but you can decide how far away from the circus you are. If it smells like shit everywhere you go, check under your own shoe. It's not 100% accurate, but typically the odd one out in any given situation is the wrong one. People need to stop assuming they're the unique genius and everyone else is wrong. That's very, very rarely the case. Nothing in this world is permanent. Why would you care about what someone you don't respect thinks about you? The best piece of advice I've ever received was to focus on what I can control and let go of what I can't. It completely changed my perspective, allowing me to reduce stress and live a more fulfilling life. You'll learn more if you listen, and since then I've taken a conscious effort. I saw on another thread about the 2-minute rule. Basically any task you have for the day that you need to do that takes 2 minutes or less, just do it immediately. It changed my life tremendously and I get a lot more done throughout the day and feel more accomplished. I tried that too. Had a lot more sex, but my wife got annoyed. To live life, you need problems. If you get what you want the minute you want it, then what's the point of living? Live in accordance with nature. Marcus Aurelius. Be kind on yourself. You deserve a break.